Well, Nate, you've really gone and did it this time, haven't you? Was it really worth it? Are you proud of yourself now? Of what you lost? Your damn car? That job at Bioware Austin that you covet so much? Hey, will you look at me for Christ's sake? I don't know what kind of games you've been playing lately, Nate. And quite frankly, I don't care anymore. You can't even put the bottle down even now? Pathetic. Don't want to take my advice? Fine, go for it. But you're not taking me along for this ride. You don't know what to do? You really disappoint me. You don't need to do anything, Nate. Just stay here and rot for all I care. I'm leaving.
Huh? What was that?
You hard of hearing all of a sudden? I said we're leaving, Bright Eyes.
Those familiar green eyes on that ridiculously chiseled face of his snap into view as my vision clears. Studying me carefully with his left eyebrow raised in one of his patented, "What the hell are you doing?" expressions. He holds the look for a solid... Jeez, I don't know. But it felt like forever, before his face relaxes.
Overdoing it on the meat again? I've told you, always in moderation. A good thing can always go sour when done in excess.
The room we're in is dimly lit. Kinda gloomy, if you will. There also ain't much in it besides the rectangular hospital bed and all of the fancy equipment that's set up beside the guy laying on it. Some of it's plugged into him. The guy in question, tan complexion, slicked back black hair, couldn't have been a day over 20, by the way, seemed pretty peaceful. The black sheets covered most of his still body, leaving his oxygen mask covered face to bask in the dim orange light of the single bulbed fixture directly above, his eyes firmly shut. Across the room to the right side of the dude standing next to me, I can see the rain pattering slowly against the awning window pane. Clouds as dark as our robes.
Here, let's not forget these.
The guy beside me... Actually, no. Diomedes, to be proper now that my head's a little clearer, reaches over to the bed to grab a manila folder and holds it out to me. My right hand is currently clasped around a silver flask, so I take it in my left. The cursive font on this folder above the stamp in the center is pretty fancy. It takes me longer than I'd like to admit to read. Ted Gorister.
They're copies of Ted's personal records and relevant history, Bright Eyes. No need to study it so hard.
Right. Ted. There's a large bandage plastered over his neck, covering up the spot where the serum was injected. Administered by me. I can feel this sort of sinking feeling in my chest all of a sudden. Feelings that I tried my hardest to swallow along with this mead. Diomedes pats me on the shoulder after a moment, leaning his head to the door in a gesturing motion before making his way over. With the files in hand, I follow, before the door slowly swings open from the outside.
We got him stabilized now, luckily, but his mental breakdown was pretty severe. You can look, just make sure you don't...
Ah, Lachesis. You'd be hard-pressed to find a woman that can captivate a room quicker than her with those locks of feathered hair. Perfectly flowing in patterned waves down to her shoulders. Blacker than the rain clouds outside. Her gray eyes scan the room carefully, creases forming on her forehead from her furrowing eyebrows.
I see. Oh, hey there. I don't think I've seen you guys around before.
In comes this younger-looking guy walking behind her. Wispy blonde hair on him. Pretty long, too. I wonder how long he's been growing it. stretches past his ears on both sides and reaches down to the upper frames of his glasses, which he makes a motion to adjust with a push from his index finger upon entering. He only comes up to the crest of Lachesis' shoulders height-wise. What a bummer for the little guy.
I see you two haven't left yet. I guess we've come just in time. Kai, these are the shepherds I was telling you about earlier. Here's Polemos.
She signals to me with a flip of her wrist and an open palm. Almost like a showgirl on one of those game shows that's showing off a potential prize. Yeah, that'd be me. Nice to meet you, Kai.
Oh, good to meet you.
And this is Diomedes.
She repeats the gesture in his direction. I catch a glimpse of his lips raising into this crooked sneer.
Hey there, Four Eyes. Ted's friend, right? You'll be coming with us for a spell.
Right now? But I'm due for a session in the enrichment chamber in about 10 minutes.
Forget about that. You'll have time to catch up for it later, my friend. We've gotta have a little chat with you related to Mr. Gorister over here. And
At a certain point, Diomedes is constantly shifting his eyes between Kai and Lachesis before he just stops mid-sentence and walks up to Lachesis. Is he staring at what I think he is? Oh boy.
What the hell is up with that?
My chest? Really, Diomedes? You're gonna do this now?
No, I mean that.
He points, with a disgusted expression plastered on his face, by the way, to this, quite frankly, not at all like her lacy purple choker wrapped tightly around her neck.
Oh, what's it to you? Is there a problem? I had to come here on short notice. I didn't have time to grab my robe.
Ah, I see. Tell me, Lachesis, is that how you're taken to going out when you can't fully cover up?
Sometimes, yes. I ask again, what's it to you?
The unenlightened can't see it. You remember that, don't you?
I'm aware of that, Diomedes.
Are you possibly ashamed of what's happening? Of what you're becoming? You know...
Where's Coronis? I tried to butt in with the first thing that could come to mind. Seemed like the situation was getting a bit uncomfortable. For Lachesis, at least. As she took the interruption as a chance to take a step back from Diomedes.
She's gone back to Crete to make it to practice with the other H5 girls. They've got some league scrims today.
I see. How is she taking it? I didn't have much time to talk to her after the situation was over.
She... Well, she's doing her best. Coronis is strong, no doubt, but I'm sure it'll take her a bit of time to come to terms with what she saw today. Make sure you check up on her when you get the chance, all right?
I'll do that. Thanks.
Ah, well, isn't that just swell? My little Polemos, looking out for his little protege. Ah, they grow up so fast, don't they, Lachesis?
Yeah. Look, I gotta go. I still got a few duties to attend to post-commune, and this little event has taken up quite a bit of my time already. I'll check you guys later. And Kai, we'll keep in touch.
Kai's been so quiet that I almost forgot he's been in here standing next to Lachesis the whole time. Looking kinda like a lost puppy. Alright. Later, Lachesis.
Blessings to you all. Take care.
Blessings to you, too.
Blessings to you, Lachesis.
Right then. Blessings to you, little Miss Grey Eyes.
Lachesis gives Diomedes a final scoff before heading out the open door and vanishing down the corridor. There's this awkward moment of silence between the three of us. Then a flash of lighting outside illuminates the dim room, lighting up all of our faces. I can make out a single bead of sweat sliding down Kai's cheek.
Well, gentlemen, I suppose we'd better get this show on the road. Kai, you may not know much about us, but rest assured, we'll all become very acquainted.
Shortly.
What? Come again?
I said we're closing down the office shortly, Nate.
A young woman leaning over the table. A name tag dangles along with several beaded necklaces. Bioware Austin, Chloe Atkins, design lead.
You look exhausted. Go home. Take a nice hot shower, maybe. Put your feet up. Relax. You guys had a great brainstorming session today. I think we're definitely onto something with this galactic command system. Anyway, see you tomorrow.
Woman walks away, smiles, viewing her full frame as she walks off. Average height, a fit build, ponytail in the back. She disappears, taking a left by a wall decorated with a mural of a fierce-looking woman holding a blue lightsaber. Star Wars: The Old Republic. Exiting the office. In the parking lot, an unfamiliar man with a suit gives a friendly wave as he walks past. Spectral light of a full moon reveals his face for a brief second, the clouds clearing momentarily overhead. Tall, with curly black hair, some killer green eyes. Vaguely jealous. Guy must get a lot of action. Commute home is long. The Austin traffic is luckily at a lull this time of night. Channels on a satellite radio are being flipped through, looking for something interesting to make the time go by. A Boba Fett bobblehead bumbles on the dashboard.
And welcome back to Worldwide Gaming Radio, continuing tonight's segment of The Red Pill, with our special guest, former marketing lead of Activision, Daniel Wachowski.
Good evening. Welcome back, everyone listening out there tonight.
Indeed. Welcome back, people. Welcome back. There's a lot going on in the world today, folks, and not a whole lot of it adds up. I hope everybody is comfy with their tinfoil hats at the ready. Now, I'm sure there's not a single one of you folks out there tonight who hasn't heard at least one theory, right? Project MK Ultra, a secret project run by the CIA that conducted numerous experiments in order to gather information on the potential use of LSD and other drugs, sometimes on the unwitting and unknowing U.S. citizens. Why, it's even been said that they might have engineered a means to control the minds of actual human beings. Now there's something there, isn't there, Daniel?
Oh, absolutely. You can never fully trust a government agency to not abuse its power.
Or how about this one? Some of you old cats out there should have heard about this one. The Paul is dead theory. Paul McCartney of a little, English rock band. You might have actually heard of them. I think they had a, decent amount of success worldwide. Right? You know the one, right, Daniel?
Oh, I think I know the one. They went by, what was the name? The Beatles, right?
Yeah, the Beatles! That little old rock band, nothing major, right? Now, what if I told you that Mr. McCartney actually died back in 1966 in a horrible car crash? The Paul McCartney we've got now? Nothing more than a lookalike. A doppelganger implanted to take over in his stead.
Yeah, one of the more compelling accounts that I've heard. It goes hand in hand with this new age theory that prominent figures in the media are slowly being replaced by government-produced clones.
Yes. Government clones, chemtrails, the suppression of alternative medicines, the moon landing, who was really behind the JFK assassination, etc. Like I said, A lot of theories out there, right? A lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense. Well, what if we add something new into the mix? Something else to throw into this proverbial bucket of mystery. Claims that certain video game companies are up to some especially shady dealings. Now, what do you have to tell us about that, Mr. Wachowski?
I'm telling you, Emerick. And I know a lot of heads will be shaken out there tonight, but hear me out. This is big. Right up there with Rockefeller's initiative for a centralized world bank. Up there with the Illuminati, even. With their plans for a unified and heavily controlled world government. I've seen some shady stuff. And I'm not just referring to some of the routine capitalist crap that you might be thinking. Smear campaigns, stealing competitors' ideas, under-the-table alliances. None of that is what I'm talking about. They're just the nature of big business. There's money. Tons of it. More money than anyone that deals solely in the gaming industry has any right to have. Video games are very lucrative nowadays, don't get me wrong. But I'm talking major moolah. Like oil refinery cash.
Go on, Daniel. What about the money? Who has it?
They try to split it up with these development studios and investors. People and corporations you've never heard of. Hell, you probably won't ever hear of. These guys come to you. They're the ones who gave the guys over at Bungie the idea for that 10-year plan for Destiny.
No kidding, huh?
Oh, hell yeah. A bunch of the stuff in the numerous DLC expansion packs were supposed to be included in the base game, but they gave us the idea to spread it out, you see? Timed content, trickling down little by little to keep the gamers led on by a carrot string. Low-hanging fruit, you know? Yeah, we'd have to work on the game longer, but the money that we made with that business model, absolutely insane. They chipped in for most of the advertising costs, too.
That was one of the most successful ad campaigns for a video game to date. If I'm not mistaken, quite expensive, too.
You're damned right it was. Dropped about 6.7 million. And they paid for at least 5 million of it. Like it was nothing to them. Didn't even ask for much in exchange, really. Just a bit of our capital. And they've since continued their partnership with Activision and Bungie. Mark my words, Destiny will continue to use more of that model. Maybe in more extreme measures in the future. And now, they've since gone on to other studios. Many, many others. Moving them all towards these monetization models, these cookie-cutter and uniform gaming mechanics.
Interesting. And who do you think is doing all of this? And what is this leading to?
Bennett Inc. would be a good place to start. You know the one. Was founded by Marshall Bennett. He was part of the Magnavox Odyssey project for the first commercial video game.
I've read a couple reports on his history, actually. I had to do a report back in college about the timeline of gaming, and I sort of fell into this, rabbit hole of information. Some say he kind of, lost his mind during the project. Mysterious, untimely death as well.
The guy went absolutely nuts. Bonkers. Look, I worked in the industry. I love video games. Passionate about them. They were my life, literally. I made my living in marketing the damn things. But even I didn't have his level of, some would say passion. Others called it what it was. Lunacy. Everything came back to video games. It was almost religious, you know? Like the games were literally their own world.
His son runs the corporation now, right? Do you think his goals are the same?
Absolutely. And I think they're part of an elaborate plot for a complete and unimpeded gaming saturation and...
Flights of stairs in an apartment complex. Home sweet home.
Oh, so you're home. I had just about given up on dinner with you tonight.
Dinner with Elena. Right. Promised to be home by 5 o'clock. The digital clock on the nightstand reads 11:43.
You're sorry. Whatever. You know I hate it when you're out this late. I know you're passionate about your job, but that isn't all there is. Were you drinking on the way home? You know what? No, stop it. Don't answer that. If the first thing that comes out of your mouth is a lie, I don't want to hear it. Just eat your food. I just put the bolognese sauce in the fridge. Should only need a minute to warm up.
Eating in silence. Alone. Food's not bad. The sauce could use a bit more salt, though. A quick brainstorm for tomorrow's meeting before bed. More galactic command stuff. Share progress between all the users' legacies. Maybe give cosmetic rewards for milestones. It's coming along nicely.
Now, I know these changes are drastic, but they could spell an enormous jump in profit margins if implemented correctly. Players aren't going to want achievements just handed to them, right? Let's just scale back these rewards a tad,
The ideas are being completely ignored. Notes on the new progression system for the expansion are being callously rewritten. Reward progress is being heavily throttled. Cosmetic rewards like new outfits and mounts are being totally removed and added to loot boxes.
Now, Nathan, I understand you completely. I was very skeptical too when I heard about these suggestions from our new investor. However, once you see the finished system for yourself, you'll see that these changes are a happy medium. A unique progression system that also doubles as a means to keep players interested longer and be more inclined to purchase premium currencies by proxy. It's a win-win for all of us, really.
New investor? Who? None of us were notified at all, and now they get to have all of this sway over the creative direction? I don't understand this at all. Our mechanics haven't been properly edited for these adjustments. This might be pushing the envelope a bit much.
Oh, you all haven't heard? Bioware Austin has officially brought aboard Bennett Incorporated to aid in the management of Knights of the Eternal Throne. As a matter of fact, the representative has come to introduce himself.
A tall gentleman enters. Suit and tie, curly dark hair, green eyes. It was him, from the previous night. He smiles at the head of the table. Chloe grins at his entrance.
It's a pleasure to meet you all. I hear your distress, believe me. In the coming days, while I'm in town, I hope to get you guys to fully understand that Bennett Incorporated holds the interest of all parties at heart. You, the hard-working employees of the industry, and our market, the players.
Guy knows how to work a crowd. Very charming. Convinces most everyone of how positive these changes will be received. It's BS. This is thinly veiled corporate greed. Exiting the office. Early. No need to stick around for this. The sun is still high in the sky. A familiar voice calls back.
Hey, hold your horses there, Bright Eyes. You didn't seem too thrilled in the meeting there, sport. What a shame, since I heard that you were the first to conceptualize the Galactic Command System. You think we're trying to purposefully ruin your brainchild here? I'm sorry you feel that way, friend.
A shrug of indifference.
Well, listen. I think we got off on the wrong foot. The name's Bruce, Bright Eyes.
He extends a hand with a toothy grin.
Nice firm handshake you've got there, Nate. I hear you practice Krav Maga, yeah? Well, so do I. You look surprised. Didn't expect a guy like me to get my hands dirty. What do you say then, since you've seemed ready to punch me in the face all afternoon, that we have a little sparring match later this evening? I know of a low-key dojo around here. Lucifer has to buy dinner. Sound like a plan?
No, not really. I guess I joined because it seemed pretty cool. I mean, I've ended up learning more about gaming than I ever could have imagined, so I don't regret it at all. Plus, I got to meet Kirky.
Oh, well, isn't that just sweet? Got a thing for the lady-in-waiting, huh? Wait a minute. Really? Did this guy fall asleep again? What am I gonna do with you, Bright Eyes?
Are you gonna be okay, Polemos? Maybe you've had a bit too many sips, eh?
Too many. Not nearly enough if Diomedes is still here. Wake me up when we're at Crete, will ya?